Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. A little 2-1 in the W on Tuesday night. Felt really good about it though. Had 1.3 units on Tina Charles, so we did make a full unit back on the night. Tried to run a giveaway with y'all in the Tuesday video, but I'm going to run it back here. So like the video, jump in the comments, give me your 3 favorite bets for the night. If all 3 hit, I'll throw you in the raffle there to win $50 again. Went 0 for 10 on Tuesday, so we'll see if we can't find a winner here for Wednesday. But let's go ahead and jump into my best bets and projections for a lot of these player props here on Wednesday night in the Fever and the Sun. Spread sits at 6.5 in most places here. Fever underdogs once again on the road. Plus 235 on their money line if you're feeling frisky. And we've got a total at 163.5. Running back game 1 real quick, 93-69. Nice. Victory for the Sun. Handled business, leading most of the way and into the fourth quarter after a kind of choppy first quarter start by both these teams, but they dominated all the crucial categories here. Got a lot of points off turnovers, doubled up their fast break points, had 14 more paint points than the Fever did, and the rebound percentage, 56% of the boards went to the Sun, so they dominated in all the key areas that lead to all of their victories, to be honest. And if you look at the Fever, a big reason for everything that went wrong for them was the shooting. Just that simple. They've now played 4 games. They're 1-3 against this squad. You look at the 3-point stuff when they won, 13 for 30, nice 43% from deep. In the three losses that they had from deep, 23 for 64, about a 35% 3-point percentage in those losses. So obviously pretty crucial that they hit threes, weren't able to do it. Clark and Mitchell, big reason for that. Now, Mitchell still had a lot more success than Caitlin Clark, at least going to the rim and getting to the free throw line. But they were combined for 2 for 25. From deep, right? 2 for 13 and 2 for 12. So both of them really just struggled from deep, and they were pulling them because that's the way that you hang with Connecticut, is you have to outshoot them from deep because they don't shoot from deep at all. So if you trade 3s for 2s, you should be good, but they weren't able to do it last game. Not sure I have the confidence in them to be able to do it with the way this Connecticut defense is looking now that the playoffs are here. Let's start with Cece. And last game we faded her rebounds and assists. That worked out. She needed to get 14. She got 12. But that was the most that she's had against this team in terms of rebounds and assists. I kind of like including the points and going under on the PRA, but keep in mind that the rebounds are actually a little bit low for her, right? Or excuse me, the assists are at 7.5 on most books. So that's keeping her PRA pretty low. She averages 7 rebounds and assists now in 5 games versus Connecticut, going comfortably under in all of them. So the rebounds and assists are a big part of this, but I mean, even if she goes off in the points, I don't see her diming up quite as much. She did look to pass a good amount. 17 shots is still a lot for her. 4 for 17, not a great percentage. But at the same time, she was looking to pass a bit more in those situations where maybe she would normally shoot, but it wasn't going down, and that defense is nasty for Connecticut. So I still lean unders for Cece. I know everyone wants to predict her to have a breakout game here. Maybe you like the points, and that would be the only thing I would consider going over, because if she just starts getting hot from deep, not much you can do about that. They're guarding her all over the floor with ferocity. So let's look at the best player for the Sun. We've got AT, Alyssa Thomas, and I still really like the rebounds and assists for her. A playoff Alyssa Thomas is a thing. I mean, she was unreal last season, looking to score a bit more, took a lot more shots, but she still upped her field goal attempts in this last game, shooting 15 times, which is more than she averaged on the season. So you look at her playoff stuff, now 7 of 9 in the playoffs since last season, 19 plus rebounds and assists, because that's her number, in 4 of 5 versus the Fever. And just like I said, 7 of 9 in the playoffs. So averaging a good amount of minutes, but she averages the same against the Fever. So in game 1, 37 minutes. And now we've got Ty Harris, questionable for game 2. And that's a pretty big deal for this Sun squad, both from a scoring, defense, and for sure assists as well. She's got 3 assists on the season behind Alyssa Thomas, and even Mabry has 3.4 since she's been with the team. But really, this is about Alyssa Thomas's ability, she's everything. She's the Draymond Green of this team. We've said it before. She's going to be going in and getting those boards. Really, at this point, Brianna Jones is really just banging down low with Aaliyah Boston. After that, I mean, nobody's really hanging with Alyssa Thomas. NaLyssa Smith got played off the floor. Not really sure what was up with that. She got beat by Alyssa Thomas for sure on offense, but at the same time, she was in position. She was doing the right stuff. It's not like Fag Benlay or anybody else who came in had much better luck dealing with Alyssa Thomas. So either way, there's not really a good matchup for her since Bree Jones is going to be handling Aaliyah Boston. That leaves her to get a lot of the rebounds and assists. Marina Mabrey is very interesting because she just went clean off. And to be honest, she didn't go clean off until right around the end of the second quarter and then all over the second half for sure. 27 points, but only shot 9 for 20 from the field because she was ice cold in the first quarter and a half. She did end up hitting 5 threes and had 3 dimes. So 32 minutes in that game, really stepped up once Ty Harris went out. That ankle injury looked nasty, by the way. If you've ever turned your ankle like that on someone else's foot and your name is not LeBron James, pretty hard to come back just 2 days later. So I wouldn't bank on seeing Ty Harris very much, if at all. And if she is out there, I think she's going to be hobbled significantly. So Marina Mabrey and Dijonai Carrington, this is where they step in and get a bunch more minutes and the usage that Ty Harris had as well. So the prop line for Marina Mabrey is very, very high. I will say that. But if you expect her to get the 30-plus minutes that we should expect her to get after she saw 32 minutes with Ty Harris out in this last game, this is not that high of a line. It's actually kind of reasonable. She's at 15.6 points per game with the Sun in 17 games. But if you filter this out to her playing 32-plus minutes, now you're in a much better, you're looking at about 16.7 points per game on the season. So it's really just a matter of the minutes, and chasing those minutes, I think the points are a good look. If you can get over 3.5 assists for plus money, that's a good look for her as well. She does definitely sort of took over secondary ball handling duties behind Alyssa Thomas in this last game, if you watch the tape back. So I still think she's a good option for assists if there's a good, like I said, plus money for 3.5 over that. But the points at 16.5, still a pretty good look in this game. So what about Dijonai Carrington? Well, her lines have ballooned as well and are now super high, similar to Marina Mabrey. However, similar to Mabrey, we expect her to be playing those 32-plus minutes. And let's also just remind ourselves, this Fever defense on the perimeter is terrible. It's been terrible all season. Give up the most threes above the break. Every stat that you would talk about on perimeter D, this team ain't got it, right? Between CC and Kelsey Mitchell, it's a problem. So when we look at the minutes for Carrington, and we expect them to stay high, she played 32 in this last game, or 34, in the last game. I would expect her to be playing 34 plus minutes once again, with Ty Harris looking the way that, like, more like doubtful, to be honest, than questionable. So what happens when she plays a ton of minutes? Well, she's gone over her PR line, points and rebounds combined, in 17 of 20 games where she's played 30 plus minutes. Right, that's a pretty high percentage right there, about 85% of the time, exactly 85%. And she is going to get those minutes because she's the number 1 Caitlin Clark defender. And I mean, they're happy to switch. You'll see that. Like, this Sun team has so many options on defense to be able to bother Caitlin Clark that they're going to hedge out on the screens and keep bothering her. And if they have to switch, and Carrington now will take on someone that's a little bit bigger, but she's feisty, and you'll put Alyssa Thomas, for instance, on Caitlin Clark. So at least taking away the 3-point stuff for her. But Dijonai is going to be out there as her primary defender. So with the minutes in mind, I do like over on the points and rebounds for Dijonai. And what about DeWanna Bonner? Is playoff DeWanna Bonner a thing? I mean, it looks like it. Still not a massive sample size dating back to last season, but she, like Alyssa Thomas, has gone over very consistently in the playoffs. 6 of 8 since last season. In last season, she was attempting 15 field goal attempts per game. So I want to make that clear. Like, I really think DeWanna Bonner is going to continue to bring it. I don't know why she was so bad to end the season, shooting like 18% from deep, but she seems to have overcome that stuff, at least after one game. So her percentages in this last game were really high. I'm still a little bit weary. I'm not going to bet an over on DeWanna Bonner in this game. I still need to see if she's actually back, because even in this last game, she was better than back, right? She went 7-11 from the field. I don't know that she's only going to miss 1 or 2 of her threes. Again, she was wicked hot from deep last game. So I'm heeding a little bit of caution here. She did average 15 a game, points per game, that is, on the season. She was only taking 12.7 attempts, and everything kind of went down once Mabrey got there. She went under in 13 of 19 games with Mabrey on this points prop, only averaging 13.5. So I would keep in mind that, like, the sort of averages for her tell a story that this is not a good number at 15.5 points. Even at 5.5 rebounds, that's constantly a 50-50 bet for her with no edge. So I'm likely just staying away from DeWanna Bonner stuff. If she goes off one more time, maybe I'll start buying into playoff Bonner. Quick reminder too, if you do want all the plays that I'm making and the write-ups for them, I've got my VIP Discord. Link is in the description, so you can make sure that you don't miss anything there. Also got a code for off 25% off for the first 2 months if you want it. Sept24, like the month of September 24. That gets you 2 months 25% off. So check that out in the description of the video. Lexie Hull. This is a play that I really need to see what the lines are. The books came out with lines for her rebounds at 4.5. Over was plus money, and I was ready to pounce on it, and it came down like that. So we got to see what comes for her points and rebounds combined prop or her rebounds prop. But I do like points and rebounds combined as the play for Lexie in this game. She was total beast mode in game 1. The really impressive part of her 6 rebounds, 3 of them were on the offensive boards, something that Connecticut does not give up, offensive rebounds. So she was really going in, and you really saw her hustling on those boards. She's now gone over her points and rebounds combined in 3 of 3 versus Connecticut. If this number is at about 10.5, because that's also what it came out at, and then it was taken down. It's really interesting that she is playing mostly in that shooting-ish guard and small forward position. Basically, her player archetype is one that gets rebounds against this Sun team, where they just sort of leave the shooting guard, and the centers they have a little bit of trouble with because they're playing good centers. But the most vulnerable they are in terms of allowing rebounds to opposing players comes from Lexie Hull's spot on the floor. So I really like her to keep going. She should get the shots as well. She's been way more involved in the offense in the last 10 games, going over 10.5 and 8 of 10 on the points and rebounds combined. So if we get a beatable number like that, that's a really nice over for her. NaLyssa Smith and the anomaly that was game 1. I watched the tape back because she played 9 minutes. I don't understand why she played 9 minutes. And what I'm showing you here is on Props Madness, you can see she averages 17.3 points and rebounds combined, and she has a 75.6% hit rate with this number at 10.5, or excuse me, 12.5 even for the points and rebounds. For her, it's 12.5. It was 10.5 for Lexie. So 12.5 points and rebounds and assists, needing 13, still 4 fewer than she averaged on the season. But why did she only play 9 minutes in this last game? It really doesn't make any sense. She played 6 minutes in the first half and never saw the floor again, played 3 minutes in the second half, never saw the floor again, and started both situations. So I haven't been able to find anything explaining why she was taken out and not put back in. I watched the tape to see if she was just doing boneheaded things, and she wasn't. She didn't do much in the stat category, but she only played 9 minutes. She was in position. She was doing fine. So I really don't understand why she didn't come back in, but I think her absence actually helped Alyssa Thomas have an even better game. So I want to go under, to be honest, because if anyone's going to play 9 minutes, that's too many points and rebounds, obviously. But I don't know yet if that's going to be the case. That is something that you'll have to be in the VIP Discord to see when I drop that play. And that is all the time I have for you guys in this one. Quick reminder, jump in the comments, give me your 3 best bets. If all 3 hit, giving $50 out to one lucky winner that will throw all the names in a hat and see what happens. So best of luck with everything on Wednesday. Check out the other video as well if you're interested and you want to check out the other game between the Lynx and the Mercury. Got the same quality stuff there for you guys as well. So until I see y'all next, happy betting.